Welcome to JAC Fly Fishing. My name is Jeff Conover, and in this video I'm going to show you how to tie pheasant tail flashback nymph Jeff's version. First thing you want to do is make sure you have nice tight, hook is nice and tight in the vise. Make any adjustments you need. Okay, you don't want it flexing around all over the place. Now you're going to take and you're going to pull out a decent amount of thread from your bobbin. Cross the hook shank, straight across, just behind the eye, and you wrap forward twice. 1, 2, now wrap back 1, 2, and then you're going to hold this nice and tight on a sharp angle and wrap around, and this is going to stack each wrap of the thread nice and tight against each other, because the materials need to have a good base to tie, to attach itself, so it doesn't flip around and stuff like that and fall apart on you, because it doesn't take well to just tying on a hook. Now you come up 2 wraps. Okay, do not trim this off. Take this off and lay it off to the side. Now you have your pheasant tail. Now the longer fibers are going to be down here on the bottom, and your shorter fibers are going to be up here at the tip. So what you're going to do is you're going to clean this mess up. So you want to make sure you have good fibers. So you grab a few here and just pull them right off the base. Pull it right off the base, just like that. You're going to do the same thing on this side. And just clean it up. Toss it in the garbage. Okay, now you're going to tie in your tail. I'm going to pick out about 5 fibers. 2, 5. Now you take the fibers and pull them straight off the stem here, because that evens the tips of the fibers for you. Now you grab them tight and just pull them off. Take and flip them around. Now you get them there. Now with your fingertips. Okay. Now you want to grab hold of this here. You want to get a couple of wraps on there just to hold them in place. Wrap back. Keeping the tails straight in line with the hook shank. Now you're going to take, this is fine copper wire, okay, and just cut a good length off. And now you're going to tie this in here. You're going to come all the way forward to where your body's going to end. And keep your wraps nice and even and nice and tight. Okay? So remember, you have to leave enough room to tie in your thorax. Okay, that's good. Which ends up just on this hook here. This is a Mustad S80 3906. It's a standard length hook, but it's a 3X heavy. Now we're going to trim this off here. Like that. So this here, we want this off to this side, to the side to you. Now you're going to pull off about 4 or 5. Let's go with 4 fibers. And again, pull them straight off the stem here and pull them off. Now this here, we're going to tie in the tips here. Okay, so you're going to start coming back. Just catch the tips. And this here, you don't have to really worry about, making them one right next to each other on your thread wraps. But an important part is you're going to start to, when you get down to getting close to the end, you're going to start to position the fibers so they're going to be in the direction that you're going to be wrapping in. And the reason you do this is that so you don't break your fibers when you go to wrap them around. Now you're going to come all the way back up again. You can come up quickly. There. Now you're going to take your fibers. I got one little fiber here. Just give me a little pull. There we go. Get rid of that. Then you take all 4 fibers and you catch them in your hacker pliers. You're going to be doing everything nice and gently. Okay? Now you're going to take your thread, your extra length of thread here, like this. Now you're going to wrap it around the fibers. And you're just going to continue to wrap around and spiral it all the way down. And the reason you're doing this is it binds the fibers together, and when you set the thread, it's going to be so you're going to be actually pulling tension on the thread and not on the fibers. Now you catch fibers and the thread, and now you pull the thread tight. Not real tight, but you just pull a nice tension on it. Okay? Now for a little extra reinforcement. Now you can trim. You can leave a little section of thread on there. Now you take nail hardener. Okay, whatever you want, make sure it's clear. And you're going to coat. Just like coat. That's it, just like that. Now when you wrap the fibers around and that hardens up, it just adheres everything together. So now you don't have to worry about your fibers breaking. And I also do this with peacock herl too, or anything with. Let's come down just a little bit more here, give us a little bit more length. Okay, we'll take this off. That's the end there. That. Now this you're going to trim. Now you're going to, normally you would wrap this way, but you want to wrap, when you're tying pheasant tails, you want to wrap in the opposite direction that you wrap the fibers in. So, and you want to keep the wraps nice and spaced apart. Now you can go heavier on the body if you want, more fibers, however you want to do it. It's your preference. Now I'll just tie that off there. Like that. And give it more turn. And I don't like to trim too close on this. I'll just trim it off just leave a little bit there and just push it down. Just make sure everything is nice and neat and bound down tightly. Now I'm going to use a mylar. Okay, it's silver on one side, gold on the other. Now I want to use, this is it on the spool. Just cut yourself off a little section. Okay, so I want the silver to be out. So you're actually going to tie the gold side up. Okay. Make any minor adjustments you want or need to do. Now we're going to apply dubbing. Okay. Now whether you take dubbing from the box or out of the package. Okay. We're going to take it out of the package. You want to take out a good tuft, a good amount of tuft. You'll never use this much. So what I do is, to prep it, I take and I pull it apart. Okay, fluff it out, thin it out, See, you don't want to tie in clumps. And you're going to apply a very light coat. Okay, now you can just put it like that. Okay, now this is Hairlines Plus with guard hairs here, and it also has Antron. I particularly like the Antron. It just gives a little flash and a little more lifelike to your fly. Now you're going to pull out a small amount and you're going to apply it like that. You take it. That's only a very small amount. And you're going to do that again. That. Don't clump it up. Very small amounts. Like that. Okay. Slide that up a little bit. Now you're going to take and you're going to layer it on. That. You're going to come back. Like that. You're going to come forward again. And you can't see it. You could actually only really feel it. But each thread wrap is getting buried down a little bit further and a little bit further down at the bottom. Okay, that looks good. Now, I want to make this buggy and pull it out so it's nice, loose. Now, you can do, I like using a 22 caliber rifle pistol cleaner. Okay, it's very easy to pull dubbing out. But in this case here, I just did that very lightly. Okay, but in this case here, we're going to be using the dubbing needle. So you want to pull it out and you want to make it nice and buggy. Now don't worry about catching the thread because the thread is buried quite a ways down. So you would have to really dig down inside to really cut the thread. That's why you put light layers on. And wrap it in layers. Now I like to take and pull that off and pull some off to the side there, and pull some off to the side there. Drop it back a little bit. Now when you fold it over, there's your silver side. Now try to clear the hair away from the hook eye. Align this right over the hook eye. Loose wrap around. Make sure everything is aligned. I like to wrap back. And wrap forward. Then what I do is I take and I pull this back. And then I wrap backwards. Like that. A couple of wraps. Trim that off nice and close. Now you're going to wrap backwards. Nice neat wraps, nice and tight together. Pull that out, or not. Okay, now we're going to whip finish. Here, here. And take your time with it. You don't need to do anything. Just the very important part is make sure you flip the loop over. Pull this up, pull this out, and pull it down. Now there's a lot of stuff sticking up here. I don't like to cut the thread. I just open up the blades and just push. Now, what I've been using for head cement, I'll just give you what the bottom side looks like. Nice and buggy, looks like legs sticking out there. You can pull them out, you can play with them, whatever you want to do. Now, I've been using crazy glue or super glue or something like that. Okay, this has a little push button. Okay, this has a little push button here. Now I like taking this out, tails up, and very carefully. And you got to work with this push button tip. You just want to get a small amount on there. And you flip it over and do the same thing to the bottom. Now you don't have to do anything at all. You can use whatever you want or nothing. You could use any kind of head cement. You could use the hard as nails, whatever you want to use for head cement. That's up to you. Or absolutely nothing, because a whip finish is a very good and a very tight. It's a very tight finish. And that's it. Thank you for watching my video, and fish on.